Hi guys, DVD Mike. I said I'd do a little look at the collection. Eagle-eyed viewers would have seen that I've already popped up a video and had to delete it because of I know it sort of went out of sync and the camera work was terrible anyway, so I've actually found my little JB Gorilla Pod and hopefully we'll get a better looking video out of this one. So it's just going to be a quick sort of freeform go through, no real editing, no real anything else, just look at everything. So we'll start with the top shelf. We've got the Spielberg collection. I own most of those more than once. I kind of forgot I owned the E.T. and Jaws, I think, and then bought it, but it was cheap anyway. The Breaking Bad Hermanus collection, which was cheap from HMV with a pure card, I think $19.99 for Blu-ray. Bond 50, that's the big sort of collection that didn't have the ultraviolet copies that came later. It's got Skyfall in there that I bought separately, so it's the full 50. People did say to me at the time, why are you buying that, we're going to make more ones, but it's the 50 collection, so it's 50 as a Bond and no more. The German Starship edition of Star Trek Beyond. If I can kind of squeeze that out. Still sealed because I have no reason to open it. I got it really cheap and I wanted it because the packaging they showed looked better than the one they actually released, which is annoying. I have With Nor Eye, the Arrow limited edition, the personalised one. Everyone picked like the cover and the quote on the back. Mine is Scrubbers, so I won't reach it down because it's too heavy and big. Next we have the box set shelf. Now the box set shelf is very much in flux because most of this I don't really want here, but it's just what I had at the time. Most of the stuff is in storage at the moment. So I have the Sopranos complete collection, Clint Eastwood 20 film collection I got cheap, and really only got it for Trouble with a Curve because it's the only way you can actually get this in the UK, which is kind of annoying. Crow, City of Angels, Salvation. I like City of Angels, never seen Salvation, but it was very cheap. Vacation box set, probably will end up staying here because, well, I quite like those movies. Oceans, again, really love those movies. Alien Anthology needs something doing to it. Alien Resurrection has the worst master. Doesn't have silver retention on the transfer and looks like shit. And obviously there are different issues with colour timing as well, I won't get into too much. Pirates of the Caribbean, only there because I wanted to watch them again before the new one. Rocky and Disputed collection. This is obviously the old one with the non-4K master for Rocky, but I have that anyway. In a steelbook, Stanley Kubrick collection. Again, issues with masters, but it's quite a nice box. Planet of the Apes. Bought that because I wanted Dawn, or is it Rise? Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And it has the rest of them, so why the hell not? It has a Burton one as well, which I need to rewatch. I don't really like it, but you know. X-Men Trilogy is the original release around the time Wolverine Origins came out. And the Tim Burton collections. Now, this one is the non-book version, so the second release comes with 2 Amrays. I own most of those separately again as well, but it was extremely cheap. Bad camera work again. And we have Nightmare Before Christmas, Alice in Wonderland, Frankenweenie even, and Ed Wood. Now I bought this box set because it's the only way to get Ed Wood for a while, and the cheapest way to get Ed Wood. I think this cost less than the entirety of this cost less than actually buying Ed Wood separately, so I thought it was well worth the punt. Next we have, now I don't normally do this, but we have an Arrow shelf. I don't normally sort by distributor, especially these people that buy every single like disc that Shout Factory puts out, and Arrow. I buy the ones I want. It just seemed that they all kind of fit together and kind of looked okay. So you have the Hellraiser Scarlet box. Decent set. Yeah, I know there are issues with framing that people go on about, but I quite like it. It's alright. I wish I had the original artwork. I don't like the artwork on it. Donnie Darko, the 4K master. Special edition with the director's cut as well. It's nice actually, that. Bride of Reanimator. It's a shame they didn't release Reanimator as well, or Beyond Reanimator, but at the end of the day, it's a nice little set. Again, all their special editions never have the original art, which really annoys me. Hills Have Eyes, not a huge fan of this movie. I do actually quite like the art on that. I only got it because Wes Craven had just died, and I'm a big Wes Craven fan. I thought, you know what, it's actually worth a look. And I kind of like their hard box versions, they're kind of cool. 2 ones I really do like, got Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa. I nearly did buy Long Good Friday again for the steelbook because it's got the original artwork on it, and it's gorgeous. But it's a really nice set, that. Society. Another one where I really loved the poster artwork when I was a kid, and you know, this is fine and it kind of fits, but It doesn't really, you know, it's alright I suppose. It's a good film, but not a big fan of the art. Texas Chainsaw 2, not seen it in ages. I think I've seen it like once or twice maybe. Only bought it because it was extremely cheap at the now defunct Head in Bristol. I think it was like $7.99. There's one there, special editions, that didn't actually sell out. Onto the Steelbooks, Big Trouble in Little China, Amazing Juice Struzan art, love that. King New York, first Arrow Steelbook I bought. Just haven't watched it yet. I've seen it, but I haven't watched the actual disc. And again, silly art. Burbs, original theatrical art, lovely stuff. Joe Dante's forgotten film, although more people are bringing it back because of, obviously, Arrow giving it attention. Time Bandits, Gillingham, amazing film, and again, proper art on it. Next we go on to the slipcases. I might take these off actually, because the thing about, you know, Arrow is you do have the proper theatrical poster as an option underneath, but you have to live with the slipcase. I might sort of put them behind or something. So we have Michael Mann's Thief, my favourite film of all time. Brian De Palma's Raising Cain, great film, and again, proper art underneath. I do actually quite like the art on that, but it's not original. Guyver, hate the art on that, it looks terrible. The Guyver looks a bit stupid, but again you do have the original art underneath, which is cool. Onto the normal ones, which are weirdly sorted in colour order. They get lighter. I don't know why I did that, but here, darker even. Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, great film. Wish Kevin Smith got his TV show off the ground. Battle Royale, just the normal, I think it's 2-disc edition. Or is it 1 disc? I think it's, yeah, it's just 1 disc, isn't it? But still kind of cool. Long Goodbye, one of my favourite films of all time. Return of the Killer Tomatoes, big, huge fan of this when I was a kid, and obviously nostalgia kicked in and I picked it up, and it's still pretty funny. Another Joe Dante, Forgotten Masterpiece, Matinee, great film. The Wachowskis, Bound, probably their best film. The Matrix is very good, and I have a soft spot for Reloaded, but Bound is fantastic. Speed Racer is great as well, to be fair. Cronenberg's Videodrome. I was going to get the big box set, but missed out on it. Quite glad, because I've now got the original art, which is, as we're figuring out, a big thing of mine. Maniac Cop. Haven't seen this in years. I bought this reasonably cheap, and haven't actually spun it yet. But I will watch it again. Another Wes Craven film I actually do like this time, People Under the Stairs. Kind of remade as Don't Breathe recently. Homage, let's say. Toby Hooper's Life Force, great film, and obviously has the original theatrical art with the boobs on. Matilda May? Matilda May. Brian De Palma again, Dressed to Kill, great film, his basic Psycho rip-off. William Friedkin's Live and Die in LA. I do have the original MGM release of this, but this obviously has the extras, unfortunately made by Shout Factory, but at least it's got extras and it's kind of cool, and the new master is pretty nice. Better encoded, obviously, than the American version. And Remo, The Adventure Begins, or Unarmed and Dangerous, I knew it as renting it on VHS. Great schlock film, that one. So next we go on to the, well, I was going to say Marvel Steelbooks, but it's more superhero Steelbook shelf. And it does contract and expand quite a bit, and things go in and go out of it because, well, I keep buying new ones. So we have The Rocketeer, so the Zavvi re-release of their Steelbook with a lenticular. I have the original version of this, the American import, just Amray keepcase, so I'm not going to open that. We have Hulk, Ang Lee's, this was the Play.com, I think. I do have every Marvel Cinematic Universe Steelbook, as you'll see. Iron Man's Play.com one, still sealed. Again, the Incredible Hulk, the Louis Leterrier one. These two are open because I have no other way of watching it. I'll tell you, I do have that. With the lenticular slipcase, but I don't own the Ang Lee one. Iron Man 2, still sealed. Thor, I've recently covered this in plastic because apparently it's worth a fortune, which I didn't quite realise. It's the HMV Steelbook. Again, HMV, Captain America. Got a little bit of damage there on the bloody card, which is bloody annoying. These cards piss me off on Steelbooks, they really do. Most of them get thrown away or moved or whatever else. So we have the Avengers, it's the HMV exclusive Steelbook before they went bust. And Play and Zavvi ended up getting them all and ruining them. Iron Man 3 actually has a title on the spine because Zavvi did take the titles off the spine. Well, Disney really, I suppose. with the Avengers. Iron Man 3, Fuzavi actually got it back. It's 2D version that though, not 3D, because after this they pretty much all went 3D for the steelbooks, which is great. The cardboard is again pissing me off. Thor the Dark World, again that was I believe a Zavi exclusive. No title anywhere on it because it's a region wide sort of release, which is annoying. And we have Captain America Winter Soldier, again with this is one with the embossing weirdness at the top. And again no title anywhere, which is annoying. One, I don't mind the no title, Guardians of the Galaxy, because I quite like that. I know people didn't, but I think it's really cool. And the lack of spine really plays to that, I personally think. I also have the awesome Mixed Volume 1 cassette tape there. And Agent Carter Season 1. Now this is open because there's no real way of watching it anymore, so if I want to watch it, and I really did like that, I can watch it on there. Avengers Age of Ultron, this is again no spine, no titles, no nothing, but at least it matches the original, which is neat. Daredevil Season 1, sealed because it's on Netflix in 4K HDR, and I'd rather watch it on there than watch it on the Blu-ray. Agent Carter's second season, I probably will open this if I want to watch it again, because again there's no real way of watching it, and I really like Agent Carter, and it's a shame it's cancelled. Jessica Jones, first season, again sealed. I have Luke Cage on order. No, Luke Cage isn't out yet, is it? Daredevil Season 2 on order. Ant-Man, another clever one with the SSD. Really, really clever, that one. I know some people didn't like it, but, you know, imagination. I'd rather have imagination than a weird poster thing with no art on it. Civil War, again, no spine art and no title. And then, for some weird reason, Doctor Strange brought the spine art back, but only in the UK, really. Again, like this, some imagination, so it's the book. Quite clever, that. I do like that. I have the German uncut edition of The Punisher. I'm not sure about the rainbow colouring, but it is a really nice glossy steelbook, and it is the only way to get the uncut version. They found a 35mm print with the uncut scenes and spliced them back into a new restoration, and it looks pretty damn good. Thomas Jane, Punisher. It's got its moments. He's barely the Punisher in it until right at the end. I've got it sealed because I've got another way of watching it, and the transfer's shite anyway. Ghost Rider. Yeah, it's a bit shit. It did come with the... Oh no, it didn't. That did. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I will open this because there's only another way, and I want to watch it in 3D. It did come with a Ghost Rider keyring when you pre-ordered, which is okay, I suppose. Amazing Spider-Man. Got this used because I missed it first time, so I bought the 3D version because it was actually filmed in 3D. Bought this first time round, the weird boxed version of Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hate the big, massive box around that. It's kind of crap. Next we go into sort of the non-Marvel since the Punisher really, but well, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Going to the Fox stuff, so I have X-Men Origins Wolverine, terrible film, but quite a nice steelbook. I like these faces one. My brother got me that and the Wolverine for Christmas. This is sealed still because I have the HMV exclusive with the uncut version. Great film that, and it showed with Logan that, you know, you get a decent director, give him some chance. You give him a bit of chance with that, you give him more chance, and he really knocks out the park. Next, we go on to the actual Bryan Singer ones. I know I'm missing a few, but I will pick them up eventually. So you have Days of Future Past, Days of Future Past, The Road Cut, X-Men Apocalypse, and then on to Fan-Fourtastic. I like the first half of this when they're in school and when they're sort of doing everything up until they sort of get their powers, and then it all sort of falls apart. There's one fight in a superhero movie. Haven't seen it since cinema. I will watch it again, but that was really cheap. Deadpool, still sealed. No reason to open that one. Same with that. Superman Anthology. I do have the normal anthology in the cardboard box, so it's just kind of neat to have. Man of Steel 3D. Batman v Superman 3D. Now that's open even though I have a different way of watching it because A, I want the 3D, and that's probably about it actually. Yeah, just the way to get the 3D theatrical cut, because it's quite good. 3D and Suicide Squad 3D, which I didn't hate. I didn't love it either, but I didn't hate it. Next, now I am running out of room and moving stuff around, so you will find stuff. Focus. Thank you. You will find stuff on the top of things here. This is mostly the 4K shelf. There's an extra copy of Kingsman: The Secret Service there. I do own 2 copies of it. This one was really cheap. I think it's $8.99 when it first came out because of a misprice. I think on Zoom or Amazon. I think that was Amazon. So I own 2 copies of that. I need to do something with that one. We have the Star Wars stuff on top just because that came yesterday, my Rogue One Steelbook. So it's 3D one. The 3D on that is better than I saw. I saw it 70mm in IMAX, and I saw it IMAX laser, 4K laser at Showcase and in Atmos. And even though that should have Atmos, Disney don't support it. But the 3D is better actually on that. So I don't know whether they tweaked it or not. We have the, again, spineless Zavvi Disney Force Awakens. Not a huge fan of that Steelbook, it's alright. But much better is the Force Awakens 3D hardbox. Miles better that. Nice package. Shame it didn't come in a Steelbook to match, but hey, it's fine. So we'll move on to the mostly 4K stuff. I have to move some of this out of the way. Let's move those and move that. Okie dokie. So we have current Picture King, Lucy. Amazing picture on this. Besson filmed it in a lot of different formats and it looks amazing. Oblivion, which I only really bought because of the amazing cover art and the Atmos soundtrack, because the picture quality is really soft in places and they've had some issues. Don't know whether they DNR'd it or whatever they've done, but it looks like shit. Fast and Furious 6, or Furious 6 if you're a normal person. I didn't mind this as Justin Lin film, and I'm a big fan of Justin Lin, but they've used lossy DTS and DTS-X on it, and Universal should be ashamed of themselves. It's really kind of stupid. Creed, bought used. Really like this movie, like all the Rocky movies. Came without the slipcase, but for, I think it's £7, I'm not that bothered. Deepwater Horizon, really tense flick. Part of Peter Berg and Marky Mark's trilogy of real life stuff. Saw Patriots Day, like that as well. Haven't seen Lone Survivor. Sicario, amazing film. Really like Roger Deakins, and he actually did the HDR pass on that, so it wasn't ruined and a bit shit like most of them are. So I'm gonna get a bit more light in here. That's better. John Wick, American import. I've got the normal Blu-ray, but obviously that's an actual 4K native film and worth picking up. Sully, I saw this in IMAX. This should have the IMAX aspect ratio really, but it doesn't. It's 2.35 to 1 instead of, I can't remember what it was in IMAX, it might be 178. I didn't actually see it at the BFI, I saw it in Birmingham. It still looked good, and it sounds good. I mean, that's really close. I mean, the 3 best looking discs easier are Lucy, Sully, and the next one, Pacific Rim. For a film that wasn't shot in 4K or 3D, it's the best 3D and best 4K discs I own. Well, not best, Lucy is, but it's pretty damn close. It's really weird. It becomes a showpiece, that film. Man of Steel. It looks okay. The HDR pass is pretty nice in places. It's desaturated anyway, so people that want to colour it in online are kind of stupid. Batman Superman Ultimate Edition. Again, I've got the Steelbook, but that's for the 3D. Same with Man of Steel. This has obviously the Ultimate Edition in 4K. Great HDR in that. Labyrinth, amazing film. They screwed up the Atmos soundtrack. I wish that Sony would put the original soundtracks with these films. There's enough space, just put both in there. Put a 5.1 or a 2.0 or whatever the original soundtrack is, and then put the Atmos on as well, because that's stupid. And Bowie's voice gets a little harsh at times during the singing numbers. I don't know what they did to the mix, but it's shite, but it's a gorgeous Steelbook with original art. Salt, really like the director. Film's pretty good, and it looks pretty good because 35mm, despite what people say on the internet, looks good on 4K. Ghostbusters, the original one, and Ghostbusters 2 with the original art, not like the American versions. They look pretty good. Again, Atmos, which it shouldn't have. Ghostbusters, the remake. I like the remake. I saw it in IMAX, and I'm glad it's got the ratio and the screen breaking effects on here. I do want the 3D version because the 3D was really good. But I'll mention that a bit later in a second because there's an issue with that. Da Vinci Code got really cheap. Never seen it before. Looks okay. It's a decent Sunday afternoon watch, I suppose. It was only, I think, $8.99 again. I think that was Zoom. Resident Evil Afterlife, shot in 3D. Don't know why I picked it up. It looks okay for an upscale. Yeah, it's worth picking up. It's a good, fun schlock film. Magnificent 7, 2K finish, but an amazing looking 4K disc. Shows you it doesn't matter what it started out as long as you do a decent master of it. Feelings, Long Halftime Walk. I got this before the cinema in the UK. I didn't really want to see it because I hate Kirsten Stewart and Ang Lee is a bit ponderous. I bought it because it's obviously 60 frames per second and 3D is meant to be really good. But I still haven't watched it, and I don't know if I'd get around to it. It's fine for what it is, but I'm just not interested in it in the slightest. I wanted to try out 4K 60, but then I realised I've got a PS4 Pro and I've been watching games in 4K 60 and the TV's fine with it, so I don't know why I bothered. But here, Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, bought this in a 2 for 30 deal. Worth picking up just for the sound and for some of the picture stuff, but there's some macro blocking going on, the encoding's not fantastic, but it's still okay for what they are. I love those movies, and Into Darkness great because it's got the IMAX ratio scenes, as all films should when they go home, but they don't. Martian Extended, love the Scott Brothers, as people know. Doesn't really add anything to the film, but it's worth having because it's got the Atmos soundtrack, even though it's not the best. I did see it in Atmos 3D, 4K laser when I first saw it. Asparagon, Burton back on form, really good flick. Even though I quite like Dark Shadows, that is a really good film. X-Men Apocalypse. Again, I do own the Steelbook, but this apparently looks amazing. Haven't watched it in 4K yet, but I get it in the 2 for 30 with Fast 6. So the reason I bought the Fast 6 because I got to deal with it. Deadpool, that's why the Steelbook is sealed, because it's great at a native 4K master. And it looks fantastic, sounds great as well. Next we have the 4K Premiere Collection. I got for $39.99 when it was cheap. So we have Independence Day, which is the only one of these with object-based audio. I've got the Steelbook of that, I haven't watched that version yet. Kingsman's my second copy, obviously. Exodus, I do in 3D, but, you know, Scott Brothers, and it came in the box. Life of Pi, never seen it, we'll watch it eventually. Maze Runner, I kind of like those films, considering what they are, young adult fap, but it's pretty good. Revenant, Torchborn is what that is. It's fine, I don't know if I'd watch it again in a hurry. I saw it in the cinema, it was good, but 4 hours of watching Leonardo DiCaprio being tortured is okay, but I'm not a huge Tom Hardy fan. I'll watch it again, it was fine. Iron Man Trilogy, this is the German Steelbook in 4K. Yeah, Iron Man 1 has some DNR issues, probably involved in that upscale to 4K. 2's better, some weird colour choices. 3 is pretty damn spot on, actually, it looks pretty good. Amazing to see what Disney do and compare them, actually. Zombie, Dawn of the Dead, this is the Midnight Factory, rather. 4K edition. I've applied for my replacement discs to see if I can actually, you know, compare them and see what the difference was between, you know, things. It's got issues, but I buy a lot of Dawn of the Dead stuff, so I have no issue owning it. And then the weird little outliers that are on the end of this shelf, just until I buy more 4K. So we have the original keep case of Drive, the original HMV Steelbook of Drive, the Future Shop Jacket Edition, which is apparently still worth quite a bit of money. And I hate Mondo, but for some reason I do own the Mondo Steelbook, mainly because it's Drive and nothing else. And we have Video Nasties Definitive Collection 1 and 2, the only DVDs that are in this set. So I have to break the video now and go on to the next shelf. Okay, so on to the next shelf. Some time has elapsed, let's get some light back in the place. There we go. So we're on to the, basically, what is the dead shelf with a weird bit on the end and some stuff on the top again. So we have Evil Dead, the original Sony keep case release. This has only got the widescreen version, but it does have exclusive extras. The Anchor Bay 2-disc 4:3 and widescreen version, but it is region locked, so it's not much good to me, but I bought it anyway just in case it wasn't actually region locked. I bought that obviously before, pre-ordered it before it came out and didn't know, but hey. Evil Dead, this is the Sony Steelbook, comes with a UV copy, and that's the only difference between that and the normal keep case there. Recently released German VHS box set. There's a media book of this as well, but I like the VHS thing because, you know, I associate it with Video Nasties. This is weird. I'll do an Evil Dead in-depth thing at some point, but it has the 4:3 version, the widescreen version, times 2. 2 of them have a lot of DNR on for some reason, and 2 of them don't. So it's basically the Anchor Bay version, but there's the DNR version on there as well. I don't know why. but it is region, well, I think it's region B actually, so if you live in the UK, you want the 4:3 version, that's the one to pick up. Probably not that exquisite sort of big box version, I think they do a cheaper version. An AVS guinea pig moment, so we have Evil Dead 2, the original Studio Canal and the Anchor Bay release, both for DNR. They wanted to see if the UK version had the DNR. It's the exact same print, master, disc, whatever. As is that. Bought that recently, it's the Australian version, the cover art's different, so I picked it up rather cheap on eBay. Same original DNR version. Unlike this is the newer 2K master. It has some DNR, in that there's some grain management on it. Not DNR like, Waxy Face Predator, but, it's a bit grain managed, but it still does look pretty damn good. Not as good as the new master on the original Evil Dead, but it does look pretty good anyway. Don't own the Anchor Bay version of this. Again, region locked. It might not be Anchor Bay at that point, but yeah, you know what I mean. Same disc in steelbook form, sealed. This was a Zavvi exclusive. Evil Dead 2 German version in the sort of leathery hard box. This is the so-called uncut version. It's not. It has some on-set VHS camcorder footage of some extended scenes that have been spliced back in. It's good as a novelty. And on an upcoming Evil Dead night that me and some friends are having, we'll be watching this version just as an oddity. That's the thing about Evil Dead 1, there are no oddity versions apart from the DNR version, but there's no real sort of fun, different version. Australian Army of Darkness Necronomicon edition. Yeah, there's nothing really special about that. I believe it's the Screwhead edition. I've never opened it, I've no reason to, because I had this at the time, the definitive German edition. Lovely hard box, has every version of the film in pretty decent quality at the time. Decent extras, comes the TV cut, which is probably the one we're going to watch on our Evil Dead night, again for an oddity thing, but now it has been usurped by this new version. This is basically the new master that was made for Shout Factory, or Scream Factory as they like to call themselves when they're being pretentious. Yeah, so it has the new master, but it has better encoding, so there's no more Lego macro blocking. There's probably not going to be a recall because it is, I believe, the version without scenes missing. So that is basically the hard box, but it has the new cut in there as well. Sorry, new cut, the new master. I don't know if it has the TV version actually. Can't really make it out. Director's cut, Euro version, US version, so no TV cut, so it's still worth having the big box anyway. So we have the original Studio Canal, well, Optimum version as it was. Has director's cut as an SD version on there, as well as the HD normal cut. Universal Screwhead edition, kind of pointless, because they're not own that transfer more than once now. This is the French version of that German box set. So it's missing the extra discs. It's just one disc, and on that one disc it has the three cuts, the international cut, the American cut, and the USA cut, I think it is, the director's cut. Exact same quality as is on the hard box, but kind of neat. It's got a red box, kind of cool. The steelbook from Zavvi, Studio Canal 1 now, same as the Optimum version, just in a steelbook now. Studio Canal obviously partnered with the lovely people at Sony to get this out. Has the 3 discs, so it has the Evil Dead 2, I think it has the decent Evil Dead 2, not the shit version. And it has the Sony Evil Dead 1 and the Optimum Evil Dead, Army of Darkness rather. Remakes, so we have the original UK steelbook from Studio Canal. I believe it's a little bit brighter than the Sony version. I don't know what it is about gamma brightness and UK discs at the moment, but it seems to have them all the time. The Sony pop art steelbook. I don't normally like these pop arts, but it's Evil Dead and it's kind of cool image, so I thought I'd pick that up. And recently added, since that last video that didn't work, the Evil Dead Extended Cut. This is the Future Shop version, I think, from, no, not Future Shop, can't remember where I got it from now, but it's the Swedish version, not the Japanese version. The Japanese version is stupid expensive. This is the extended cut, not the original unrated version that went before the MPAA. It's slightly shorter. It was shown on Channel 4 over here by mistake. I do have that recorded, but I've got that now. I do have a 4K file of that as well from the Sony download service, but it is the theatrical cut. So if I want to watch it, I'd probably watch that, but that's kind of cool to have because the Channel 4 version wasn't encoded amazingly well. We have the lenticular Ash vs Evil Dead. I want to pick up the metal pack at one point. Only came out on DVD over in the UK, but this, even though it says Region A, is region free, so it's well worth picking up, and I hope they do the same with the second season. So now we're on to George Romero films, basically. So we have Night of the Living Dead. This is the network edition. Looks fine, as does the Optimum version. They're not terrible. The Japanese version is better, but until they get the new master from Scorsese's people, it's much of a muchness. Night of the Living Dead, this is the umbrella release of the Savini 1990 version. I think it was 1990, yeah. Worth picking up, it's got the proper colour timing as opposed to the Twilight Time bullshit version. Dawn of the Dead, original Anchor Bay. And these are the only arrows that aren't on the arrow shelf. Dawn of the Dead, original arrow box. Day of the Dead, original Anchor Bay. And Day of the Dead, original arrow box. Yeah, DNR on all of them. The zombie version isn't that much better, to be honest. They need working on from the ground up. They need to get back to the original camera negative and scan them at 4K or 6K just for preservation's sake, really. Everything's getting in the way now, so let's move that out. Come here. Land of the Dead. Just the standard director's cut universal release. Diary of the Dead. It's got its moments. I know it's not very good, but the swimming pool thing's kind of neat. Survival of the Dead, a lot better. I wish Romero sort of left it alone, but I don't hate them at all. Wes Anderson weird section. So we have the US Rushmore, which I'll rebuy for the UK version. My Panasonic player can skip the region lock on these. Not everything can skip it on, but it can on Criterion's. Royal Tenenbaums, this is the UK release. I do have the American release as well, which I believe is on another shelf somewhere, so we'll probably bump into it when we go further down. Darjeeling Limited, just the standard UK release. I will get the Criterion because I don't think they're going to deal with Fox necessarily. Same with Fantastic Mr. Fox. And Moonrise Kingdom from Universal. I will pick up the Criterions because, like I say, I can actually watch them on my UK 4K player. Grand Budapest Hotel. Quite like the artwork on that. It's kind of neat. I just wish it had like the Blu-ray bar and all this other stuff, but it's kind of cool. We have my Indicator releases. Oh, and apparently another copy of Grand Budapest Hotel, the Steelbook, which is obviously a lot nicer. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan, as you can probably tell. I own multiple copies of all these things. People think I'm crazy, but hey. So you have Christine. Again, love that they have the original theatrical art on these things. John Carpenter's Vampires with the correct colour timing. Fun film, that. Ghost of Mars, only saw once when it came out to rent on DVD and haven't seen it since, so I thought I'd pick it up because I don't remember hating it. I remember it being boring, but it's worth a watch, I suppose. Oh, my Christine is the original version with a balked 5.1 soundtrack, but since it didn't have a 5.1 soundtrack when it came out, I don't care. I'll listen to the stereo version, thank you very much. Gone Girl, the only Fincher of my Fincher collection that seems to be here because it's a more recent release. Needs a 4K release because it's filmed in 6K and finished in 6K and will look amazing. Back to the Indicator stuff. So 10 Rillington Place, love it. Haven't seen the Jude Law TV show yet. I do have it recorded and we'll watch it at one point. Well, I love that film, it's great. And Brian Palmer's Body Double. The only one of these Indicators I've watched is Vampires, weirdly enough. I will get around to watching them all, but yeah, I do like those. They're kind of nice. It's a shame that, you know, the 80s sort of schlock stuff that I like, they're not releasing much of. They're going a bit more upmarket, which is fine, but it's just not my cup of tea necessarily. So we'll move down to the next shelf. Okay, so I'll get rid of the stuff on the top first. So we've got my 3 copies, and I think I have more than this, but I'm pretty sure 3 might be the top, of David Fincher's The Game. So we have the Criterion edition. Worth it because they actually did the colour time properly on this, unlike Michael Mann's Eighth. And they also have the original theatrical sound mix on this, not the near-field mix that ends up on most home releases, and I don't like. We have this release, which is the standard Universal release. It has the Criterion Master, which is great. I don't believe it has a near-film mix, though. I think it's exclusive to Criterion. But it's still worth picking up. And the standard UK release with the older Master. Okay to have, but it doesn't have the correct colour timing, and it's fine for what it is, really. And John Mnemonic. This is the Concorde, I believe, Turbine, rather, hardbox edition. One of the original ones, because it has the... dropping on the floor. Let's grab that. The 35mm film cell. If I hold up to the light, you can see it's a scan of his brain, which is kind of apt. Like this film, it's got a Atmos disc and it's got a Oro 3D disc. The Atmos disc is all in German for the subtitles and the on-screen text, and the Oro 3D mix has the English subtitles and things, but it doesn't really matter. But still kind of cool to have, and it does have the original mix as well, I believe, so that's fine by me. Next we go on to sort of a director's shelf in a way. So we have the Kevin Smith bit, which some stuff's missing from. So we have Clerks, Steelbook, still sealed. The 3-movie collection from America. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is the only one in their region locked, the rest are region free. Mallrats, original UK release with no extras, just the bare bones, like Universal tends to do in the UK. We get it first, but we get it with no extras. Mallrats, 1990s Best of the Decade version, does have the extras, which is cool, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't got the video commentary, which is still the DVD exclusive. Let me just move a second so I can actually... That's better. Get in a bit closer. Still worth picking up for what it is. Not a great master though, it looks like shit. Dogma, original Sony release, but I believe that's out of print now, and there's no way of getting it on Blu-ray at all. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That's the UK release because, like I say, the other one was region locked and I couldn't watch it any other way. Jersey Girl, US Miramax release. Got decent extras on it, which is good because I don't remember the DVD having a ton. Clerks 2, Weinstein Company original release. I'm not sure if that's out of print as well. Same with the Weinstein Company second remake of porno. Standard Warner Brothers Cop Out release. Didn't hate that film, it's not very good though. And Red State. I do have Jay and Silent Bob's Groovy Cartoon Movie. Where it is, I don't know. It's still sealed, it was a Zavvi exclusive. Next we're on to Michael Mann, and my favourite film of all time, like I said. So we have Le Solitaire, or Thief. This is the French version with the book. I think it just has the one cut of the film. I think it has the director's cut. So the new Criterion, yeah, the new Criterion 4K master with a horrible... It was teal all the time, colour timing, but it wasn't teal all the time because that's bullshit. The very nice German Ultimate Edition. I'm tempted to open this every time I look at it. I really, really am. It has the director's cut, the original cut, and the special director's edition. I think the director's edition is on a DVD though. This is the same one I've got on Laserdisc, which he added a little bit. Like I say, Michael Mann fiddles with all his movies more than most people do. Thief Criterion edition. It's alright, it's got the remaster, which I don't like. It's got decent extras, which I do like. It's just worth having. Manhunter, the again I'm missing a copy of this, I don't know where that is, probably in storage somewhere. This is the MGM version with a better picture quality, gorgeous looking disc, and it hasn't been messed with by Michael Mann, which is a bonus. Let's move some of this out of the way a little bit. Go there, go there. Manhunter, Studio Canal Steelbook. I do have the Optimum release of this as well, which is the same disc. Last Mohicans. I do like this film. This has obviously the change colour timing where it's very dark, and it's the director's definitive cut. I'd rather have the theatrical cut, but Michael Mann can't leave well alone. Talking of not leaving well alone, Heat and the new 4K master. It is a new master. It's just not a very good one. It's fine for what it is. It's a bit tealier, not too bad like Thief. The audio mix on these are shite though. The Laserdisc sounds miles better. The dynamic range has been really, really balked. How he mixes his films now is the same way he did it for that, and it's just not very good. And the encoding on that is terrible. It's Lego Block City. Collateral, Paramount release with the horrible cover art. Miami Vice. I like this film. Sue me, I don't give a shit. The original theatrical version, which is the UK release, and the director's cut American release. So I've got both versions. Because, again, you can't leave it alone, and I'd rather have both of them. Public Enemies. Didn't mind it in the cinema, I haven't seen it since. All I keep seeing is that gif of the bad CGI face replacement with Johnny Depp. Black Hat. I didn't mind that. It was alright. It wasn't amazing. The gunfight's really good, as per usual in a Michael Mann film. I don't know. I want to see the director's cut when they release it, though. The Hunger... sorry, now we're on to Tony Scott, actually. It turns out, I thought I owned, but I don't own one of Tony Scott's films, so I'm going to have to buy that. I might do that today, now that I remembered. So we go on to The Hunger. I will be getting the HMV edition of this. This is the Warner Archives edition. I want that just because it's got a nicer box and a few other bits and bobs with it. Like a sort of poster or something cool. Top Gun DNR edition and Top Gun Remastered 3D edition. They should release this in 2D now that Tony Scott's dead. Just because it'd be just nice to have a 2D version of it. I did make one, but still. Revenge, unrated director's cut. And the German hardbox theatrical cut, and the only way to get the theatrical cut on Blu-ray. It looks a bit of an old master, but it's still a theatrical cut and well worth picking up. Problem about this though, the inside, the little sort of papery booky bit is starting to come away where they stapled it, which is really annoying, and I haven't actually watched that properly yet. So it's just falling apart. Underrated Days of Thunder, Don Simpson's greatest acting role. Last Man Standing / Last Boy Scout, and you get Last Boy Scout on its own really. It's cool because this has two films I like, and you know, it's fine, but Last Boy Scout looks like shit because of the encoding, get them both on one disc. True Romance. Want to pick up the French version of this because it's got different colour timing and I don't know which one's right yet, so I want to pick it up to see what it looks like. Crimson Tide needs new master. Looks like crap. The Turbine hardbox of The Fan with the amazing cover art. Again, has the film cell. I think mine's with Robert De Niro's face, so I won't get it out now. Enemy of the State, again, needs a new master. Same with The Fan. It's the only way to get an HD. It's fine, but the encoding's terrible and the master's really old. Spy Game, for a Universal release, looks pretty good, but it was kind of new at the time, so there's no reason for it not to. Man on Fire, good looking disc, great film. Domino, I think it's got lossy audio. It says DTS on the back, 5.1. I need to watch this again. I will watch it at some point again. I like that film. It's got issues, but it's fine. Deja Vu. I remember it looking quite good. I don't know if it still holds up. The Buena Vista releases. Taking Pelham 123. Good little remake. I love the original and the original as well. And you get that Kino one if it's region free. And his last film, Unstoppable. It's a shame he didn't do... I can't remember what the film he was going to do. It was a superhero film after this. But still, that and Top Gun 2 would have been great. I do like Unstoppable. It's fine for what it is. But I am missing Beverly Hills Cop 2. I swear I owned it. Both for the first one and the second one. But it turns out I can't find it anywhere. And I looked in every single box I have in storage the other day and I can't find it. So I'm guessing it's not there. Right, it's getting a bit darker down here, but we'll do alright. Let's do the top stuff first. We've got a couple of DVD audio discs which can move out of the way for now. Got the 3 Prince movies in the purple cases. I was going to get the box set, but the purple case is too hard to resist. We have Purple Rain. Only original master of this, and it's fine, but this is miles better. Under the Cherry Moon. And Graffiti Bridge. Big fan of Prince. Always was, since I was a kid. And those purple cases are just too cool. Okay, so Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. Nothing really to say about those. I do like those films, and I've just rewatched them, so that's why they're there. Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy. Great documentary, well worth picking up if people haven't seen it. Rule Tenenbaums, the US Criterion Edition. Exactly the same, just obviously no region lock this time. Batman, Tim Burton's amazing original. In the Diamond Lux case. I do like these cases, they're kind of cool. It's the only film I own like it though, just because it's Batman. Mad Max Petrol Tin Collection. Shame about this, obviously the Warner Brothers version only has the lossy Australian audio, which is a shame, but hell, It's better than nothing at the minute, and better than the Shout factory release with the DNR. So, got a couple of steelbooks. Now, I don't like these masters at all. Crystal Skull's fine, but I don't like the Raiders transfer. I only bought these, and the reason they're still sealed is because they've got the Druzan artwork on the cover of the first, well, the last three there, and the Richard Amsel art on the, is it Richard Amsel? I can't remember who did that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just on the Raiders there. Django Unchained and Hateful Eight, the only Tarantino films I have to hand at the moment. The rest are in storage for some reason. Now into Luc Besson, so we have Subway. Great film, not amazing disc, but it's fine. Femme Nikita could do with a new master. It's a bit sharpened from what I remember. It's the Sony release. This is the UK steelbook, which is kind of neat. Big Blue, probably one of my favourite films of his. So you have the re-released version with the English language option, which is how it was originally filmed, and their bulked one where it had the French language as the only version, which was a later dub for the French. But it originally had international audio, so people spoke in different languages. Steelbook, which has the English language audio, I believe, so it's the better disc. Leon, Ultimate Edition. This isn't the new master. This is the one with the blown out contrast. It does have the audio, the original audio sound mix, not the Atmos mix, which is good. Fifth Element. So we have the Optimum version with the blown out Galmont master, but it's actually more detailed, if you ask me, than the new 4K master that Sony seemed to have got from an IP. It doesn't seem to be the original camera negative. There's too much noise on it. It doesn't look good enough. And again, Atmos mix, so it's got the original mix on these two, and the Sony re-release that fixed the horrible original master. Joan of Arc, The Messenger. I might watch this today, actually. I've been meaning to rewatch it for a very long time. The problem is it's like 15 hours long, isn't it? 158 minutes, yeah, bloody near enough. Just see what that looks like. I believe that's out of print as well. Extraordinary Adventures of Adele Blanc-Cinq, or whatever it is. I've never actually watched this. I bought it. It's a, because it's Besson, it's a sticker book, steelbook with a sticker on it, which is horrible. I think the only one I own like that is Source Code. The Family. I like that. It was fine. It's fun for what it is. Good cast. It's okay. But it's, you know, Luc Besson, so I had to buy it. Lucy, normal steelbook edition. Obviously, I've got the Blu-ray now, so there's probably no Blu-ray 4K. There's probably no reason I'd watch that again. That out of the way. Weird Order Neil Blomkamp movies. So Elysium, Chappie, District 9. I will buy the 4K version of Chappie, and if Elysium, if they release it. District 9, I think, had a 2K master, but I'll still pick him up because I like his movies. I don't care what anyone says. Right, Resident Evil. Apocalypse there I bought because I thought it was the third one. Extinction. And it isn't. That's one of the worst films I've ever seen. I hate that movie, but I didn't realise it turned up. I bought the wrong one. Resident Evil Retribution. Obviously, it's the 3D steelbook. Not great 3D in that. Afterlife has better 3D, but it's fine. And Afterlife original HMV steelbook. This is 2D. I do own the 3D disc of this somewhere as well. I don't know where it is though. Probably in storage, like most things are. Hunger Games, the matching steelbooks. Got the original there. Which, yeah, HMV exclusive. I do own the Blockbuster exclusive of this, and that's why this is sealed. I bought that way after the fact, after HMV went bust. Catching Fire, which has the IMAX scene in, which the only reason I don't own them on 4K is because of that. The IMAX scene should be the IMAX ratio. Mockingjay with no spine, which is just fucking stupidity. And Mockingjay Part 2. I actually haven't watched Mockingjay Part 2 since I bought it, because the 4K version is coming out and I thought I'd wait, but haven't bought them yet, so I'll probably pick it up at some point. Weird reverse Star Trek ordering again as well. I'm not in great order these at the moment. So Star Trek Beyond 3D with the motion picture homage cover. Star Trek Into Darkness. This, I believe, is the German one. No, that's the English one, so it's probably the Amazon version. 3D steelbook. And that's the German version. with the badge. I like that version, that's quite nice. And the original Play.com Star Trek. I probably won't watch them again. I need to pick up Beyond on 4K, but it's just so expensive. I don't know how they justify the 4K pricing on these things. It's mind-numbing. Skyfall, best Bond steelbook by far. Gorgeous artwork. Still sealed, obviously, because I've got the version in the Bond 50 box set that I got out of a keep case. And Spectre from their Titles line, horrible steelbook. Horrible steelbook. But hopefully the MGM will get into 4K soon, because out of 4K Master, and because Deacon's shot Skyfall especially, it'll look great. The weird piss filter on this is just horrible. You can tell these a cinematographer that worked with Nolan, I think it was. It's just no thanks. Mad Max Fury Road 3D. I like 3D in this, it's fine. Picked it up because the steelbooks were maddening. And then I finally got the Fury Road plus Black and Chrome edition. So it was a Zavvi excuse that sold out really bloody quickly. Haven't watched Black and Chrome yet. I might watch that this weekend actually. Again, weird orders. The name of the John Carney, that's it. Sing Street, my favourite film of last year. Once. Amazing film. If you haven't seen it, watch it. And Begin Again, I didn't see because I hated Keira Knightley and thought it was just an American remake of Once. It really isn't. It's still pretty good and well worth watching. Good little flick, that. On to the last of the shelves, and then we'll have a look at the weird stack in the corner, I think. Very hard to fit in here. Get out of it. Out there. So we have Trainspotting, original steelbook. I believe it's an HMV one. Well, I picked it up from HMV at least anyway. And there's a new one coming out that matches Trainspotting 2. Betty Blue, 37 degrees in the morning or whatever it is, I can't remember. Great film. Nice little hard box edition. Raid 2. Don't own the Raid steelbook. I must pick it up at some point. It's with the Jock artwork, which is kind of nice. Entertainment Store exclusive, I believe it was. And this actual order has changed since the last video, so people who saw it had a sneak peek, but it was out of sync, like I say, anyway, so it didn't really help anything. Dawn of the Apes, 3D, good steelbook, coming out in 4K soon, so I'll see what the reviews are like on that. Nightcrawler, good little film that. Jake Gyllenhaal is a capable little actor. Independence Day Resurgence, still can't find my Independence Day steelbook. I own it, the new remaster. Don't know where it is. I've looked for it for ages and ages and cannot find the bloody thing. Even when I looked through storage for Beverly Hills Cop 2 the other day, I cannot find it. No idea where it is. Terminator, horrible new master edition with horrible 5.1 audio and horrible cover art. Don't know why I own that because it just winds me up. Terminator Genesis. Pretty nice steelbook. That's why I picked it up. It's kind of cool. I don't mind the movie. It's got its moments. Emilia Clarke can't act. Jai Courtney is getting better because obviously in Suicide Squad he's the best thing about it. He's alright in that, I suppose. Wolf of Wall Street. I like that cover art, it's kind of neat. I don't like the ones that are released everywhere else. To Ridley Scott sections, so Exodus 3D. Got issues, majorly got issues. Nice to see a director's cut of that though. Legend, the sealed steelbook. I like the art on that, love that movie. Hannibal, don't own it any other way, and it's a Ridley Scott film I didn't own, so I picked this up when it came out. Disappointing steelbook, but it's fine for what it is. The Martian, talking disappointing steelbooks. Again, no text on it at all, nothing on the spine, nothing anywhere at all. Kingdom of Heaven Ultimate Edition, great film. Ultimate Edition is obviously the best version of it. Now, my Rodriguez section is here, and I don't know why. This is probably the next thing that's going to come out, because I'm not the biggest fan of him, especially anymore, but whatever. El Mariachi Desperado double pack. From Dusk Till Dawn, I have another copy of this and don't know where it is. This is the Miramax US version. I've got the UK version, I think, from Optimum as well, and they've got different transfers. Faculty, really underrated, deserves a special edition or director's cut or just something, because there's nothing on that disc. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, rewatched this again the other day, and it's not a very good film. I always kind of liked it, but not anymore. Sin City, theatrical and recut and extended. That's how you do it. You put both versions on a release. That's the only way to do that, people. Planet Terror, the extended version, which is all we got for quite a while over here. They're just these separate versions. Grindhouse, the double version. I like Planet Terror, actually, saying about it. It's fine. But it's, I don't know. Machete, bought it as a blind buy, didn't see it in the cinema. Don't really like it at all. It's got its moments, but it's not very good. What is quite good, I did like Sin City, Dame to Kill For. This is the German version I picked up because it's got the band artwork and it's in 3D. Fright Night, the Eureka Steelbook. I believe this is out of print and quite desirable already, but it only just came out, so I have no idea what that's worth. It might be worth something. Purge, 1 and 2. This is the, I think it was Zavvi Steelbook. I quite like the artwork. The American flag artwork was kind of nice. But it has the Purge and, is it just called Purge 2? Oh, Purge Anarchy. That's it, Purge and Purge Anarchy. Purge Election Year, which I picked up because I quite liked it in the cinema, and I quite like Frank Grillo, who's probably the most Punisher-y Punisher we've ever had. Well, Ray Stevenson was good. They should release a steelbook of that movie. That was great. Talking about Ghostbusters remake. Amazon advertised this magnet steelbook as being 3D, and it wasn't 3D. It was just 2D, which is kind of annoying because I have no reason to have it. I do want to pick up the 3D version eventually, but I'll get the normal keep case version because I don't like the horrible art they used on it. Let's have a look. Ghostbusters 2. I don't own Ghostbusters 1 steelbook. I really should pick it up somewhere. That should have been the cover, really. And again, kind of moot now that I have the 4K version. Mission Impossible. These have been shown before on collection videos. The Play.com versions. I do own the Ultimate Mission collection with the first 3 in anyway. I bought these because I thought they might have lossless audio, but they don't. Focus, 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 focus. Thank you. Impossible 2, 3, Ghost Protocol, which doesn't have the fucking IMAX version. Rogue Nation. I hope when they release these on 4K they do have the IMAX version for Ghost Protocol. At least Rogue Nation has the Atmos track, I suppose. Don't Breathe. Great film. I'm a big fan of Freddy Alvarez's work now after the Evil Dead remake. I know he's doing Labyrinth and I can't remember what the other film he's doing next. I'll go with the Dragon Tattoo sequel. It's a great film, that. Well worth watching. Good, tense movie. Get back in there, you silly stalwart. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this is the 4K master. I do want to pick up the 4K disc eventually, just because it's kind of neat and has no HDR, which a film from 1974 shouldn't have. Reanimator, the Second Sight one. It's a shame that, you know, this is on this shelf and the Arrow one's on the other shelf, but hey ho, don't really like the art on that. Should have waited for the normal keep case, because at least has the poster art. The Second Sight Scanners, which at least does have the poster artwork, which is kind of cool. I love that film, it's great. One here that was on the superhero shelf at one point, but due to lack of space came down. Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy, great film. Wish he got around to doing the director's cut or doing some extras for it that was mooted at one point. Or the sequel. He's on Graham Norton this week, actually. I hope he talks to him about it. Doug Liman's Swingers. I own 2 more copies of this, so it's still sealed. Nice little steelbook of that. The only by proxy, not including Arrow extras, Shout Factory disc I own, and it's fucked. Transforms the movie has the wrong black levels on it. I do own the original UK release of this, which, despite being MPEG 2, is a better version of the film. And there's good extras on that, I suppose, so it's probably worth it for that, but not much else. Halloween. I'm not going to get into colour timing issues on this, and the fact that it has a 7.1 audio mix, which is kind of stupid. It does have mono, but I believe... yeah, 7.1 audio on it, kind of weird, but I think it has the mono on it, but I believe It might be a down mix from the 7.1, not the original mono. I can't remember. For the life of me. The new master of Wrath of Khan, which is pretty good. I wish they released it in 4K. Like Independence Day, there are some moments in it where a bit too bright, and maybe it's just the HDR master shoved on a Blu-ray, which is a shame. Studio Canal Steelbook of Brick, which I believe is a Play.com exclusive. I have the Optimum 10 version of this, and I believe it's 1080i. Yeah, it is 1080i, but it still looks halfway decent for what it is, and I do love this film. It's great, and Rian Johnson will show people that The Brothers Boom and Looper are forgotten classics when Star Wars The Last Jedi comes out. So now we'll move up to the stack. Okay, the stack is in overall order and has actually changed a little bit since the last version of this video got put through. So we have Hellboy 2, Golden Army. Wanted to watch it again. Watch that and Hellboy back to back. I like these movies, and obviously they've just announced they're not doing a third, which is a shame. Prince of Persia. Because Assassin's Creed was the biggest pile of shit ever, I thought I'd give this another go, and I didn't mind this, but the disc only got 20 minutes in and they wouldn't play, so didn't finish it. Counsellor, Ridley Scott film that was kind of in love with its own script. Wanted to see the extended version, so got that back out. For Ridley Scott, we have the American Ultimate Edition Legend, which has the Tangerine Dream version. Oh, it's got the director's cut and theatrical versions, but the English version, I believe, has the European version and the director's cut, I believe. Or it might just be the director's cut. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they both are different cuts, or there's 3 different cuts. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while. Michael Bay's 13 Hours, which is a decent little flick. Big Game with Samuel L. Jackson. It's kind of fun. It's kind of reminded me of Cliffhanger when I saw it in the cinema. The Shadow. If you've got an Atmos or DTSX setup, buy this disc, put it on. It's only a 5.1 track, but trust me, it uses all your speakers, especially the bridge bit at the beginning. It's the best show off for atmospheric audio. Wreck-It Ralph, 2D edition, 2010. Again, these are all films that I haven't seen in a while. I wanted to just watch again. What's we got? Payback, straight up the director's cut and the normal cut. Judgment Night, great Stephen Hopkins film. This is the German Concord edition. It's got some DNR and German title card, but it's fine for what it is, and it's the only proper version we're going to get. God, Freddy vs. Jason, Delicatessen, Sam Raimi's Quick and the Dead, Cabin in the Woods, The Guest, great film that. House of the Devil, which was part of my Halloween selection, but because I worked so much I didn't get to watch it. Robocop, the new 4K master. Sinister, great film, and Scott Derrickson showed with Doctor Strange It Wasn't a Fluke. Innkeepers, another Ty West flick for the Halloween collection that I ever watched. Rush, Ron Howard's probably his last good film, actually. That and Ransom are great movies. Housemate Summer Vacation, these are all cheap rental ones, that and Big Game that got one extra vision shut. Mimic, still sold, no, I opened it. Never got around to watching that, bought that day it came out. I wanted to watch the theatrical cut again first, because that's Guillermo del Toro's director's cut, finally. Let's move down. But I wanted to compare them both. That's the same with Payback. I've owned that disc since it came out, watched the theatrical cut, and then now 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, rewatched it because I wanted to compare it. Yeah, so I'll get around to that one point or another. Devil's Backbone, the Del Toro film, great film. Lethal Weapon collection is there because every Christmas I watch Lethal Weapon or Lethal Weapon 2 along with Die Hard. Transformers Age of Extinction 3D, got it really cheap, I think £3 for the 3D version. Great because it's got the IMAX version. Dark of the Moon, 3D, great 3D in that. Manhattan, my favourite Woody Allen film. It's still sealed because I was waiting for Arrow to release it, and it turns out it's the same disc, so I will open that at some point and watch it. I did watch the DCP of it, actually. In the cinema, it looked great. Alessandro Ajar's Switchblade Romance, great film. Also known as Hawk Tension, not High Tension. Hole in 3D, apparently really rare. Same place I got Age of Extinction from. I got that for £2, I think. Great film, Joe Dante again. The Gunman, Rebought because of the Atmos soundtrack, saw it in the cinema, I didn't think much of it, it was okay. Control, like Ian Curtis and Joy Division, never seen it. I bought it the day it came out and never watched it. Most Violent Year, another cheap X rental along with G.I. Joe Retaliation. Jurassic World 3D. It's fun. Left it here because of a sequel's coming out imminently, so I will watch it again. Two Guns, one of the only Denzel Washington sort of action movies I can stomach with out Tony Scott at the helm. Tron 3D. Do have the normal version of this, but picked up 3D and I've got a 3D set. Predator 1 and 2. Predator 2 has some DNR. This is the non-DNR version of Predator, the MPEG 2 transfer. Conan 3D. Got very cheap. The Walk 3D, some of the best 3D there is. Same with Prometheus. Robocop 2. Not enamoured with a Shout version. I might pick up Robocop 3 if someone else releases it because I want the Fred Decker stuff. Robocop Remake. Yeah, I went on a bit of Robocop 10 not long ago. Pacific Rim 3D. Like I say, some of the best 3D there is. City of Lost Children. Great film by Journey. Edge of Tomorrow 3D. Great flick, and it's not called Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever they wanted to change it to. Need for Speed 3D, wanted to rewatch that. The Conversation, great Coppola flick. It Follows, one of my favourite modern horror films. Right School, Tony Scott film, Ridley Scott rather, film I've never seen, so bought it and have to watch it one of these days, doing it on Laserdisc actually. Assassination of Jesse James and Wired Earp double pack, got very cheap for Wired Earp because I've already owned Jesse James. Drop Dead Fred had some sync issues when I was watching it. Not actually put it back on since. Sliver, this is the, I believe, 1080i Umbrella version. I know Shout Factory are releasing it, but I don't care. Centurion, great little Neil Marshall film. Strange Days, that's the German Ultimate Mid Edition. Lights going a bit here. Tomorrowland, I like that film, it's kind of fun. Intruder, same people made Evil Dead near enough. Scott Spielberg, I think, directed it. Highlander, new 4K master with horrible encoding, but it's halfway decent. Uncut version of The Avengers, the American edition. Catch Me If You Can, great Spielberg film that introduced me to Amy Adams. And Amy Adams in Junebug as well. The Rocketeer, that's that original version. And then finishing off, we have the Die Hard films, including Die Hard Mega Hard, the German version of Die Hard with a Vengeance, and the Steelbook for Good Day to Die Hard. In that little box at the bottom there are some discs, but there's no way I'm moving all that out. There's nothing really interesting in there. I think Armageddon in there, copy of Cliffhanger, and that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's on the shelves at the moment. Like I say, it's all going to be subject to change, but thought I'd show you what I have sort of out and about. There's a lot of stuff in storage. Most of it is in boxes like this. Either stuff I've watched recently that's going to go away because I've got limited space here, or stuff that I'm not in a hurry to watch again or upgraded, like Everest. I mean, the 3D version's kind of cool and it's got Atmos, but there is a 4K version now, Sicario, great steelbook, especially the back of it. But I've got the 4K now, so you know, things move on. So yeah, there's your quick look at that stuff, and hopefully this one won't have weird audio sync issues and it'll get uploaded properly. So hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll see you then.